Superintendent Hawkins, to Francis Hooks and the Hooks family, ladies and gentlemen. Tennessee has lost one of its most distinguished citizens. America has lost one of our most charismatic leaders, and like everyone here and many who are not here, I've lost a good and close friend of nearly 40 years. When I think of Ben Hooks, I think first of Francis. In fact, I don't ever remember being able to get Ben on the phone unless I first talked to Francis. She was his assistant. She was his advisor. She was his sweetheart. She was his ally, and she was his friend. And we love Francis and think so much of her today. Ben was a patriot. He served in the war, and he saw that he had fewer rights in some ways than the prisoners that he guarded. He was a storyteller, a great storyteller. We saw a glimpse of it. He could turn a phrase inside out and turn the audience inside out while he was turning the phrase inside out. He was a visionary leader. I talked yesterday with Sarah Moore Green of Knoxville. She's 100 years old this year. She was on the board when Ben was elected leader, and she said he lifted us up at the NAACP. Ben Hooks was a pioneer. He was a pioneer as the first African-American judge here in Memphis. He was a pioneer as the first Federal Communications Commissioner in Washington. And he may have been a little bit more of a pioneer than either you or I knew, at least in some of his dreams. In 2007, when the president gave him the Medal of Honor, I hosted a reception for him and for Francis in the Senator's Dining Room in Washington in the Capitol. It created quite a commotion. Everybody wanted to see Dr. Ben Hooks. Jack Kemp came by. Senators of both parties came by. Everyone who worked in the Senate wanted a picture and the autograph. And after it was over, I talked with him a little bit about the conversation we'd had in 1978 when I was elected governor, and I asked him to be in the governor's cabinet. He had politely declined because he had more to do, he said, and he was right, helping the NAACP and the nation. But then he said, Lamar, he said, you know, I didn't want to be in the governor's cabinet. I wanted to be the governor. Isn't that right, Francis? And he said, I had a plan to be the governor. He said, I was going to be the first African-American Republican governor of Tennessee. I was going to carry Memphis big, get all those Republican votes in East Tennessee, and that was going to put me in. And I'll bet Ben Hooks could have done that if he'd tried. Ben Hooks that day was sad and a little angry at the injustice he still saw in our country. But like our late friend from Tennessee, Alex Haley, he always could find the good and praise it. He could see the good in this country while he also saw the injustice. He could see what we still could do, which may be still his legacy. So today, we celebrate and we find the good in the life of our dear friend, Dr. Ben Hooks. And we praise God for his life among us. Thank you.